Padlock Williams accused Blowtorch, Padlock, and Raoul Peck's Part 3 of Exterminate All the Brutes, Killing at a Distance, or How I Thoroughly Enjoyed the Outing, visually interrogate the construction of whiteness in the late 19th and 20th century black and white photography that upholds white supremacy and corporate capitalism. Made in 1986, Accused Blowtorch Padlock establishes a visual framework in the form of a still image multimedia collage that critically interrogates the representations of whiteness in photography, creating a visual code for the newly emerging field of critical race theory. Following the original commercial photograph in a 1937 Time magazine article of a black man chained to a tree prior to the actual act of lynching placed in the first wooden panel, the next three photos zoom into a specific section of the original photo, with bright red angular font that labels each blown-up photo Accused, Blowtorch, and Padlock. The red labels visually mimic the timestamp on photos produced by the popular disposable film cameras in amateur photography of the 1980s. The photographs with the time signifiers create a new radical timeline of events displayed from left to right in chronological order that breaks down each stage before lynching, leading up to Padlock. This photo sequence visually exposes every step of the gruesome methodology of lynching typically unknown to the public, indicting the role of the black and white photography in constructing the act of lynching as a monolithic spectacle of brutality and inventing the Africanist character as a subject of the lynching photographs. The resizing and cutting up of the original photo in wooden panels establishes the visual language that deconstructs the concept of the Africanist character in Toni Morrison's Playing in the Dark, Whiteness and the Literary Imagination, defined as an invention and projection of the white imaginary to define blackness as the binary opposite of whiteness. As the wooden frame cuts apart the lynching photograph, Accused Blowtorch Padlock physically destroys the aesthetic value of the photograph as a souvenir of whiteness and interrogates the invention of the Africanist character in lynching photographs under the white supremacist rule of law. Bold handwritings of rhetorical questions surround the wooden frame and further interrogate the process of taking and displaying this photograph, compelling the viewer to proactively produce the meaning of the multimedia collage previously obscured by the singular photograph without context from Time magazine. This visual approach lays the foundation for Patricia J. Williams' framework of legal writing in The Alchemy of Race and Rights, Diary of a Law Professor, published in 1991. That interweaves the personal and the emotional into legal writing, forcing readers to construct meaning and disrupt the absolute objectivity of the rule of law. From what is that, to can you be black and look at this without fear, to how can this photograph exist? The questions immerse the viewers in Williams' autobiographical voice to disrupt the absolute objectivity of the black and white photography of lynching photographs, guiding the viewers to indict the white supremacist rule of law that upheld the de facto practice of lynchings during the 19th and 20th centuries. The enlarged who redirects the viewer's attention from analyzing the effect of brutality on the subject to interrogating white supremacy, nativist nationalism, and capitalism's intertwined effects on those in power, including the photographer who perpetuated brutality for immense profits of taking and selling these photographs for the white consumer market. The collage appropriates the material tar that burns away in the practice of tarring and feathering used by white mobs before the act of lynching, as the canvas of tar paper. The representation of tar in the form of tar paper denies the image of tarring and feathering framed by lynching photography and marketed in the form of lynching postcards. By placing the wooden frames that cut up the original photograph onto the tar paper, the collage reconstitutes the form of photography from a magazine page and a paper postcard into a multimedia site of critical interrogation, denying the commercial transactions of lynching photographs under corporate capitalism driven by white supremacy. Released in 2021, Peck's Part 3 of Exterminate All the Brutes crafts the documentary in the form of a video multimedia collage, a more digestible medium than still image art for the contemporary audience who relies on daily interactions with digital media. Following the international uprising in response to the murder of George Floyd and the transnational call for transformative interventions on the system of dominations in 2020, Part 3 of Exterminate All the Brutes develops a visual code to intervene with the interlocking systems of white supremacy and corporate capitalism. Peck blurs the lines between participatory and reflexive modes of documentary. He inserts sequence photographs and footage from his childhood and family into the archival footage of Euro-white imperial colonialisms in the 19th and 20th century, employing autobiographical voice to interrogate the absolute objectivity of the hegemonic footage in Euro-white knowledge production. Similar to Accused, Blowtorch, Padlock, Peck incorporates Patricia J. Williams' critical approach to legal writing that blends the emotional and the personal into the critical analysis of 19th and 20th century black and white photography. Peck's footage only focuses on the photographer as a subject of colonial photography, similar to Accused, Blowtorch, Padlock's critical examination on the role of the photographer in lynching photographs. Both works redirect the viewers from the stage scenes of the photographs that depict African peoples as Africanist characters to the actual subjects of the photos, the white photographers, viewers, and consumers who represent the white imaginary and the construction of whiteness. By juxtaposing photos from his life with footage from Hollywood films that reaffirm white supremacist roles and eliminates the roles of Africanist characters, Peck further indicts the role of the entertainment and film industry in conjunction with commercialized photography industry in advancing corporate capitalism enshrined by white supremacy. Pat Ward-William and Raoul Peck examine the fabricated and performative process of taking and displaying photographs in commercialized photography, upheld by white supremacy and corporate capitalism. Together, they advance the visual code of critical race theory in multimedia collage form.